Welcome to the Campfire. And today we're analyzing District 196A. Teams in this district include Katy, Cinco Ranch, Jordan, Maid Creek, Morton Ranch, Peyto, Seven Lakes, Taylor, and Tompkins. Let's begin by taking a look at these teams in our film session, presented by the Houston area Chevy dealers. In 196A, the Katy Tigers muscled their way through an undefeated district season. And this fall, it will be their defense that will be putting fear into the entire district yet again. They return 8 starters on that side of the ball, including Isaiah McMillan and Jeremiah Smith. On offense, it's Trey Hill who will get the load out of the backfield, and Cade McCall excelling at receiver. It will be the quarterback position where the Tigers need to find somebody to step up. Jordan is a competitor for the crown as well. The Warriors return do-everything running back Tanner West on offense, and a defense that includes standout cornerback Zach Taylor. Tompkins will look to move up the standings with newcomer of the year Ethan Meadows back in the fold on offense. Peyto is always strong defensively, and this year it will be lineman Darryl Campbell who fits the beast mode for the Panthers. Maid Creek has a powerful edge rusher as well in Kosi Okpala, but will they have enough to compete for a playoff spot? We'll see. Cinco Ranch has a great backfield with Marcus Gadlin and Braden Gonzalez toting the rock. Seven Lakes' Matt Fowler in the secondary will be tough to throw on, and Taylor's Xavier Haynes is looking to go to that next level at running back. Another good tailback in this district is Tyler Gilmore at Morton Ranch, who will hope to get the Mavericks back in the win column this fall.
The film session is presented by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive. Players on the Rise is brought to you by Parker University. Check out our bachelor's degree in strength and human performance today. The Campfire is brought to you by DQ for treats and eats before and after the game.
For an even deeper look at 196A, here's producer Ward Fasold and Matt Stepp from Dave Campbell's Texas High School Football with the District Breakdown.
All right, Stepp, we are in 196A, which we all know is the Katy District. That's never going to change. I'll talk to you about realignment later in the year, and you won't even pay any attention to that part of the district because it's always going to be Katy. Katy everything, and it used to start off with just the Katy Tigers. They're still winning district titles, but last year Jordan kind of jumped up on them a little bit, finished second, but they both went a couple rounds deep in the playoffs. I think they both finished 11-2 or 10-2 or something like that. Talk to me about how you see things this year, because there has been some graduation of some superstar players on a lot of these Katy ISD teams.
Yeah, I still think Katy is the cream of the crop of the district. Breaking news there, Gary Joseph's ball club. 8 starters back on defense. They should be strong on that side of the ball. So Katy's going to run the ball. They've got a good offensive line. Lamar Brown, Isaac Coffrin leading the way. I think Katy's got a chance to be really, really good if they can figure out the quarterback situation. They're going to be young at quarterback. They got to break in a new guy there. And when Katy's elite, they get good quarterback play. Not just a bus driver, but when they're elite, they've got a guy who can make plays at quarterback.
Get that play action going. Yeah,
that's the key for Katy going into 2025. I think defensively they're going to be as good as they've been in several years, and they've got experienced running backs and experienced offensive line. It's just going to be the quarterback and maybe finding a couple of receivers that they can rely on when they need to hit that play action game. But I think
when that play action is kicking
lethal.
Right, it can be you and me out there being the receiver, and we're just gonna be standing there wide open. Well, what do you got here 1 through 9?
Let's go Katy 1. Let's go Jordan 2, Tompkins 3, Maid Creek 4, Cinco 5, Peyto 6, Seven Lakes 7, Morton Ranch 8, Taylor at 9.
We'll post the entire breakdown segment this Wednesday on our social media pages. Now, let's take a look at some game changers and our players on the rise, presented by Parker University. Tremaine Hill of Katy is one of the most dangerous running backs in the district. As part of a 2-pronged Tiger running attack last year, Hill rushed for 1,330 yards and 20 touchdowns. He scored an average of just under 7 yards a carry as Trey followed his blocks to big gains. Hill will be looking to become even more of a home run hitter in the Katy backfield for his senior season. Katy Tompkins running back Ethan Meadows was the district's newcomer of the year in 2024. Meadows finished his sophomore year 1,300 yards and 25 combined touchdowns for the Falcons. Ethan is a patient runner who knows how to wait for the holes and then hits them with speed and ferocity. It will usually take more than one person to bring this crafty tailback to the ground. Many 19-6A offensive coordinators wonder out loud, how do you handle a problem like Kosi Okpala of Maid Creek? The edge rusher is fast and incredibly strong, which makes him near impossible to block. Okpala finished his junior year with 55 tackles, 17 for loss, and 5 sacks. He forced 2 fumbles and recovered another. Kosi has offers from Texas, Baylor, Miami, and Penn State, among others. At Katy, Jordan, Jimmy Frisco Alosuliafu, say that 3 times fast, takes care of business on the Warrior defensive line. Jimmy 2 times, as he likes to be called, finished his junior year with 70 tackles, 15 for loss, and 8 sacks. He also got a safety, returned a fumble for 6, and caused another fumble. In short, Jimmy Frisco is a menace. He will be headed to North Carolina for his college ball.
The film session is presented by the Houston area Chevy dealers. Together, let's drive.
Our Ward Fasold caught up to Katy head coach Gary Joseph to talk about his Tigers in our Media Day segment.
All right, it's Media Day. We're talking 19-6A with the legendary head coach at Katy, Gary Joseph, who got a bobblehead from us a couple years back, so you know he's got to be something special. Coach, let's talk about your squad because, man, usually when we talk about Katy, we go right to the offensive line and running game, but I ain't doing that this year. I'm going to go right to the defense, and even though Adam Carter graduated, that defense is absolutely stacked. You look at the names, you look at the defensive line, you look at the 8 returners. Talk about how happy you are with your defense going into this 2025 year.
I don't know if I'm happy with it, but I'm excited for them and excited for the opportunity they have. Had some growing pains at the beginning of last year with them and stuff. Usually don't start that many underclassmen, but it was out of necessity as much as anything else. Last year was our smallest senior class in the last, since I've been head coach, the last 22 years, it's the smallest senior class we had and stuff. So, some of these kids had to grow up in a hurry, and there were, like I said, there were some growing pains part of it. But I'll say this for them: they got better as the year went on, and they bought into what we're doing, and I felt like they had a good off season, and spring training went well for them. And, we found a couple of kids that weren't counting on playing and stuff, which always helps. Depth has been a problem for us, and I feel like we'll have a little bit more depth than what we've had, so that's a good thing and stuff.
I appreciate it, Coach. Hey, we'll see you down the line, and thank you for joining me.
No, thank you. No problem. Thank you. Talk to you later.
You can catch the entire interview Friday on our social media channels. Hey, that'll do it for this week's Campfire. Next week, we take a deep dive into District 26A. Until then, have a great week, everybody.